Do you guys know that I have an Arashi on my face from the Quest 2 headset?
Oh God, Jesus! That's a fucking terrible. Oh my God!
Hey, it can't be any worse than the Gabe gear.
That's right.
Did you guys hear? There's a recall.
Gabe gear was pretty bad. But
Gear was pretty bad.
I think that was worse.
It was pretty bad, an Arashi on my face. But hey, if you do have an Arashi on your face because of your Quest 2, at least they're offering some free face coverings. That is an actual.
PSVR doesn't give you Arashis. Well, it does.
It gives you the best kind of Arashi.
The good kind.
What do you think, guys? Can we start the show?
If you'd like.
Let's do it. This is PSVR GAMESCAST Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern right here on YouTube. You know that because you're here. You're watching it live. Either that or you're in the future. Maybe your name is Scott Jessico, and you're just watching it whenever on YouTube. But if you didn't know, Spotify as well, and a bunch of other streaming services. We'll get you updated on that soon enough. My name's Brian Powell from this channel right here, PSVR without Parole. And the guys to my right, the beautiful, the bodacious, the boys! Dave from Dave Station R.
I love being called bodacious. That's the first time in my life, I think.
Radical, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bodacious. Bod.
I never grew up from the 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And that guy on the right-hand side of the screen is AJ from The Underground, PSVR Underground.
Oh, hello there.
Oh,
Good
what were you doing?
Guys? What is up?
In the middle of a game, AJ?
Dave? What is up, Game Cats? Happy Wednesday. We are halfway through the week. Thank God. Hopefully you guys are staying cool out there and enjoying some goodness on your PSVRs. And yeah, of course, do lots of humping as well. Because
lots of humping.
And turning off your phone notifications while you're on a stream.
I encourage as much humping as possible.
But no humping on any other day, only Wednesday. Save it all up, get it all in, 24 hours span of time. Thursday through Tuesday, you're fucked, man. Just gonna keep it in. Hold it up. I don't know.
And keep it private too. Don't do it in public.
Yeah, and don't tell me. I'll just be jealous. a little bit of housekeeping to take care of. Make sure, if you're not already, clicking that like button for this video. See, look at that. I finally integrated it into the show. Click the like button and tell us that you like what we're doing here. And if you don't like it, then go fuck yourself. Also, make sure you join.
Don't know what we're talking about. It's the one that looks like a thumbs up. Okay, that's the one you're looking for. The thumbs up one.
Right, unless you're watching it upside down, and then who knows, man.
Oh, then you want to hit the thumbs down, yeah.
Right. Are you an opossum?
Dude, that would be a fun life. I don't mind opossums very much.
Do you actually pronounce it opossum?
No, I don't think so.
I just say possum. Yeah, I just say possum.
You're playing possum.
I know it's spelled that way, but...
Right. Yeah. Make sure you join our Discord. The link's in the description. That's where all the cool cats hang out all the time. This conversation and conversations, I promise you, very much like it, happen all the time as well. Click the link. It's free. We don't ask you for anything. You might have to do a phone number checky thing, but that's secondary. We're just trying to look out for your best interests. Also, if you want your name on that little scrolled thing down below, patreon.com/withoutparolegames. Hit us up for just $1 or more every single month. I promise you we'll be getting more Patreon content up soon. It's been a little while. Jeremy and I have been trying to get our ducks in a row for the Maiden Dream show. Don't know when that's happening. I'm just waiting for him to say, dude, everything's great. But eventually, everything will be great. I promise you. And that's kind of it. I think we have a lot of news. Yeah, housekeeping.
Yeah,
Housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
We have a ton of news to talk about this week, though, so we probably shouldn't stick around very long, right?
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of news, including a game that just came out yesterday, some games that got major updates, some updates on some major games, all of the above. And, of course, we're going to start with anything PS5 related. And that is, gentlemen, coming straight directly from the SIE.blog itself. Just the SIE blog.
SIE.blog.net.
A new milestone. SIE sells 10 million PlayStation 5 consoles globally.
Boy.
PS5 is officially the fastest selling console in SIE history. Woo! Let's get it, guys.
Take that, PS2 or whichever one was winning before.
And this comes from Veronica Rogers, the SVP, Global Sales and Business Operations. She says, We are thrilled to announce that as of July 18th, 2021, we have sold more than 10 million PlayStation 5 consoles globally. This makes PS5 the fastest-selling console in the history of Sony Interactive Entertainment, and we couldn't be more excited about the amazing response of our fans. And they go on to talk about the issues they've had to overcome regarding, regarding obviously the supply chain issues that they've had. But an important thing that they noted in there, they say, quote, "We are making steady progress with available global supply and can't wait for the day when everyone who wants a PS5 can easily get one." So, guys, first of all, what are your thoughts on this? And secondly, we'll get to the next part next.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess firstly, this is exciting. Not that surprising because, this has been so in demand. And I think the gaming market is always growing. There's always going to be more demand for a new console than there was for one 10 years ago because more people are playing games, I think. Honestly, it's less of a niche thing. It's more mainstream these days.
Yep.
So that makes sense. But I just, I can't imagine how high it would be if they actually had them in stock, dude. Like, that would be breaking all kinds of records if they actually could be purchased for the whole time. Like, I'm sure twice as many people would have bought them as have currently bought them if they could. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
And that is 100% the truth. We're not only, not only are they having production problems because of COVID, but also there's been scalping issues. I mean, just like you name it, and like it seems like it's been a problem, but ultimately these things are getting into the hands of gamers eventually, and it's crazy. Like we're living in the shadow of like people predicting that consoles were going away. Like that was 2 generations ago. People were saying that kind of stuff, and the fact that
didn't buy it for 1 second.
I mean, I never bought it because I know my mindset as a gamer, as a console gamer. Like I'm always ready for that next gen upgrade when it finally rolls around. It's cheaper than PC gaming by far, and there's so many reasons to do it. But I'm not everybody, right? So it's reassuring to see how well that things are going, and the fact that like we're also, secondary to like production problems and stuff. COVID's been a time where a lot of people have lost their jobs or had income problems, and really PlayStation 5 should be a back burner purchase for a lot of people, being like, oh, when things get back on track. And I'm sure that's been the case for a lot of people, and the fact that it's still killing it despite all of these problems is just proof that the future is very, very bright for not just console gaming, but specifically PlayStation.
Yeah, I've said it before that I feel like from what happened last year and stuff, I almost felt like, we're just lucky to have video games in the industry, and the fact that they were not only still going, but they actually like flourished pretty well. And on top of that, with VR being such a new upcoming medium for entertainment, the fact that we not only still have VR, thank God, but it's still growing, it's still evolving, and survived something as bad as last year was. It's a great sign of what, when these things get ironed out. Now, like you said, maybe the still issue that they have is still meeting, despite their supply issues still improving. They still have the issue of meeting the demand, which is hard to do. You can't produce 110 million PS5s overnight in these conditions right now. So hopefully that improves. But what do you guys, as the main topic of the show suggests, what do you guys think this means for us and for PSVR 2 in the future?
It's already out. Don't you guys have one yet?
You guys didn't get one?
I've been playing Gorn on that thing for months, bro.
Yeah, seriously, we're living in the future. It's amazing. You guys are gonna love it, I promise. No, I mean, like, as a hardware manufacturer, they had to have had a set number in mind, being like, well, if we meet these sales predictions and everything, they want to focus on the PlayStation 5, but at the same time, they do have to face the facts that if you're going to release a new peripheral, that you have to be able to tell developers when it's coming out. So at a certain point, and we know that in early August there's going to be a PSVR2 summit where developers they're not going to get to go hands on with the PlayStation VR2. But you've got to figure that they're going to get some projected release dates, some projected street dates for this thing, so that they know if they want to make a launch title, how much time they have. And so I know Sony's in kind of a tough situation where they're like, we need to focus on the PlayStation 5 launch and make sure that foundation that we're building PlayStation VR2 on is solid. It's like rock solid, and like that thing is going to continue to sell as we kind of like shift our focus and try to sell this other thing to consumers as well. It's a tough situation, but I mean, I think we're all ready for it, man. I think we're all ready for it. I'd love to know how many people out there are furiously still trying to get a PlayStation 5. If that's you in the comments, please let us know.
It was interesting to see that poll that you did, that PlayStation VR News did on Twitter, and that Reddit actually did as well. And all three, the question was asked, the poll was, what console do you currently play your PlayStation VR on? And on all three, PlayStation 5 won. Some by a bigger margin. On Reddit, it was just slightly. I mean, it was like literally under 10 difference voting wise.
We're talking PlayStation 4, the OG and the Pro combined, not quite being as many as the PlayStation 5 number of people playing on PlayStation 5. Like our poll specifically had almost 500 votes, right? 463. And the OG got 23.5% of that. The Pro got 25.5% of that, and PlayStation 5 got almost 51% of that. So it's like OG and Pro combined, more people are playing on PlayStation 5 than those two consoles combined for PSVR. Which is like,
at least according to our audience, because we've got the most. But that just tells you that the people that are most active, the people that are most hardcore and stuff, of course, with some exceptions, there's a majority is starting to become the PS5. So in my opinion, especially with the state of PSVR 1 right now, which is still alive and kicking, but God knows that ever since, I think Sony definitely had a plan. I think that they said we're gonna have this summer in 2021, and it's gonna be a blast. We're gonna have Fracked, we're gonna have Arashi, we're gonna have all these amazing games as much off. It's gonna be this glorious send off. Well, then the Quest 2 comes along and takes a seriously large chunk of that away from them. And so, in my opinion, I think there was a bit of a missed opportunity here for Sony to kind of be ahead of the game just a little bit when it comes to virtual reality. Now, I know they've had to be slow, take their time, be cautious, make sure that they can get, they've had so many issues to deal with, like we said, make sure that they can get the supply chain issue worked out first, start getting PS5s into people's hands and
shove them right in there, man. Bend over, push it right up.
Now, can you imagine how that would look? It's so big.
More concerned about how it would feel.
As far as a tumor goes, that'd be a pretty big tumor.
Right, you show up at the doctor. He's like, I think I already know what the problem is.
Yeah, I think.
Oh Lord, but to me, guys, honestly, what I firmly believe now, I do think that if it took as long as holiday next year, I do think it would be somewhat okay, but you have to ask yourself, what kind of lead would Oculus have if you're looking at a competitive standpoint? Me personally, I would not want to let Oculus gain that much ground over that much time. That's going to be playing a lot of catch up over the years, which I do think they could eventually catch back up again, but maybe even take the lead. However, it's going to be, that would be like the long game, similar to how Xbox 360 and PS3 took the entire life cycle to just slightly edge out. So to me, in my opinion, I think they need to get PSVR 2s out as soon as possible, which is realistically to me like somewhere maybe no later than summer of next year. But I'd prefer in the spring or something. But to me, they'd have to get on it as soon as possible. But I understand if that's a little.
Right, you covered a lot of ground there in the last couple minutes. You covered a lot of ground, so I want to back it up just a little bit and kind of knock out those points one by one. And I actually kind of disagree with one of them. As we've said multiple times, right? I don't know if you guys agree with me on this, but I think we're all in agreement that like Facebook is doing all the hard work for Sony right now. They're getting heads into VR headsets, and they're saying, hey, look how great this is. It's super simple. You throw it on your head. You've got 2 analog sticks, controllers. Super easy, right? It's like it's the mobile gaming mantra where it's just like, hey man, you don't need nothing. You just like fucking jump right in. You're good to go, and so they're killing it, but they're really only killing it for Sony. When Sony doubles down and says, all right, man, here we go, next gen. Like, we officially waited for next gen to deliver next gen hardware, next gen controllers, next gen video games. And, like, this is what next gen looks like. Which I think we're all, like, it doesn't matter how much you love Quest 1 or 2, we're all in agreement that, like, those are mobile processors. And that they can only pump out so much. These are, like, at best, Quest 2 is pumping out OG PS4 quality graphics, right? And so we haven't seen next gen VR yet, unless you're like a super high end PC gamer. But that's like, I don't even think in the conversation right now, to be honest with you. So Facebook and Oculus, they're doing all the hard work right now. And then when PSVR2 comes out, I think I just saw Pater in the chat saying I got sick of waiting for PSVR2, so I bought a Quest 2. And I totally get that, but unfortunately,
there's a million other reasons too.
Yeah. I mean,
people are doing that,
but we are sending PlayStation VR1 off in style. We talk about how Sony hasn't like spent a lot of money on marketing, but I'm so glad that they've spent the money where they've decided to, funding games like Fract, funding games like Winds and Leaves, funding games like Arashi, Castles of Sin. I would much rather have those 3 games than a multi-million-dollar marketing campaign to get more people in a headset that isn't gonna work right now. It's just not gonna get people into the headset. Quest is dominating that space. People buying a new VR headset for now. So I'm glad that Sony's taking care of the gamers that they already have, which, depending on how far back in Sony's history you go, hasn't always been the case, right? A lot of people look at Vita and say, oh well, they stopped supporting Vita straight off, pretty quickly. Which I don't know. It's a couple different ways to look at that, but the point is that they are taking care of PSVR gamers, the current ones. They're not even like, oh, let's bring in new game. They're just like, hey, here's some fucking cool ass games for you guys that have stuck around.
Well, and that's what matters most to me, man. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm getting what I want out of this situation, which is games, which is the main thing. For all of the missteps, the things that have not gone very smooth. At the end of the day, I am pretty happy about just getting some amazing games. We just got an exclusive this week. We got an exclusive in Fract, another exclusive coming up, and these are especially Fract is like a badass looking game. Arashi is a timed exclusive. And then there's like Song in the Smoke and stuff, which is multi-platform. But anyways, the point is that they are delivering on the games. But to me, there is a small, little, tiny part in the back of my head that goes, man, some of these could have been set up for a PSVR2 launch and stuff like that. These games could have been focused on a January 2022 launch with the new hardware versus being a PS1, which is on a PSVR 1, which is kind of on its way out.
I think Fract though proves that you can still get the best thing out of the system that we've seen. Graphically, the lighting, the way that game runs, it's just it's gorgeous, and you almost forget you're playing on the PSVR 1 because of how perfectly everything looks and works and all that. And so it's there's always still a little juice left in the engine. At the end of a console life cycle, that's kind of when we're going to see when we want to see people doing the best thing that they can put out on this console.
Right.
And then, if it supports the second one, which I assume it will, then it'll already be available for people, maybe PS Plus exclusive or something like that. Get it for free. Hey, here's your new headset. Fract is available to play on your fancy new controllers and stuff. Here you go. That seems like a good idea to me. I think they're doing that properly. And I agree with you, Brian, about Quest is doing the heavy lifting right now, because getting people in headsets and showing them that VR is something is pretty important. I mean, it's hard to convey without people trying it. And if they have a cheap entry point that's easy to use, and then later in a year or two they see some crazy, like, expansive Sony games, they're like, oh well, I have my baby's first VR, but I'm gonna move on to the big leagues now,
Yeah.
and I already got a PlayStation sitting around, so let's do this thing. So I think that'll be a lot of that Venn diagram there of people who already kind of got into it through Quest and then see what Sony's doing with PSVR2 and say, oh well, I got to upgrade now.
Well, you got to
Because
imagine
this thing isn't doing what it VR could be doing for me.
Right, and it's a lot of it stems too from a lot of people getting into Quest from PSVR. A lot of those people, they're not new to VR necessarily. There's a lot of people that were on PSVR 1 and they were not sure about what Sony's plans were because they were so quiet about everything. And then, a lot of people jumped ship, and then, now they have moved on, and they're waiting for maybe PSVR 2 because they're not just gonna rebuy everything. I have seen some people rebuy it, but and stuff. But you'd have to imagine the majority of people, especially like on a standard or something, on a standard OG PS4, are not going to just immediately come back.
Real quick, we got Sergeant Frosty with a $2 tip. Says Frosty Express now serving ice cream and tacos.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, that's dude. I need you to set up a shop on Park Ave, a couple miles away. So I can just hit you up at 2 a.m. every single day.
I don't know how I feel about ice cream and tacos combination.
They have both. Well, you eat a taco
tacos.
and then later you eat it. Well, they also have Choco Tacos that exist. That's an ice cream taco.
Oh, I never
the
had
fried
that.
ice cream is decent, but
we also got Blue Jew, the underground game cat, rare with the $2 tip. Says choo choo woohoo. It's ice cream and tacos
Ice cream
as well.
tacos. Yeah, ice cream tacos.
I definitely missed something here, but thank you guys so much for the support. The final thing I kind of want to say about this topic that we're on is I'm sort of okay with what Sony's doing right now and what they've been doing, even though it sucks from a consumer standpoint to be like, we want next gen now. We want. I would have loved to get that PlayStation VR2 headset at launch. But honestly, I do think that anytime we say, oh, they're losing VR gamers to Oculus left and right, it's such, the number is so small right now. It's like fighting over, I always use the term small potatoes, fighting over small potatoes, because I really think that, when you talk about 6 million PSVR 1 owners out there, or 6 million people have bought the PlayStation VR 1, whether they still own it or not, I really think, hands down, we're going to surpass that number in the first year of PlayStation VR 2. It's like any of this disparity, any of this, anything we lost to Facebook is immediately going to come back and just get trounced. And I think Sony knows that. I think they know that they've got this ace up their sleeve and the ace is the PlayStation 5, the thing that powers the fucking headset, right? Whereas the Quest, hangs its hat on being a mobile device. It doesn't have to be powered by anything except for what's in the headset. It's two very, very different strategies. And I think ultimately, by the time PSVR 2 comes out, people are going to be sick of these. The last thing I want to do is make disparaging remarks about Quest 1 or Quest 2. I think they're doing a great job, and I actually really love my Quest. But you can't deny the difference between what a PlayStation VR 2 title can do from a hard drive perspective, from terms of how big the game can be. You're never going to get a Skyrim on Quest 1 and 2 because it would just take up the entire hard drive. And just from a visual perspective, and as somebody who doesn't normally care about graphics, I'm definitely not a graphics whore. I've always been a super champion of indie game developers. The fact is in VR, I think it matters. In VR, the more realistic something can be, the more immersive it'll be. And I think we're going to find that out very, very quickly when PSVR 2 rolls around. And before I say anything else, Gatorade23 with a $10 tip. Thank you so much.
Oh, let's buy some Gatorades.
Or some tacos and ice cream.
Gatorade talk. God, stomach ache alert. Yeah, man. All right, guys. So, I could honestly keep talking about this. I feel.
Oh, I know.
The rest of the show isn't nearly as interesting. We let's just cancel the rest of the show and just stay on this topic.
Well, yeah, I think it's time. I think we're all ready. I think developers and consumers are ready for the new hardware. And I think for me, it's more about not necessarily the PSVR headset as much as it is the PS4 and what the PS4 is capable of versus the PS5. That's what I want to see difference. I'm excited about the headset. New controllers, better tracking, thumbsticks, the orbs, the haptics in the headset, the wider field of view. All these things sound amazing, and then you put that together with Sony's like first party support, with bigger games that indies are be able to develop. And I think you're right. I think we will. I'm expecting like at least a 4 to 5 times kind of growth in the VR market once PSVR2 comes out. And I'm with you in that I believe in indie games. I was totally with you. I loved games on PS4. While everybody was playing Uncharted 4, I was playing Transistor and Curses and Chaos and a lot of those games that nobody has ever heard of.
I have
but the difference is that PS4 had these huge AAA games first. And so I'm excited for this next gen to not only unleash the new hardware, but unleash what the general masses of the public and stuff really want to get them to buy a headset, which is bigger AAA games, and then be supported by indie games, because I think indie games are kind of like the backbone. I don't know, one or the other. You could say one or the other is the backbone of it, but I think they can definitely help each other out, and yeah. So cannot wait, man. But I hope to hear something sooner than later. Like you said, there's that developer summit. Hopefully we get some info out of that, and that also is a sign of maybe something officially revealed soon.
Yeah, I mean, and just I think we've got a lot of speculation about when the PSVR 2 will release, but I think we've seen over and over and over and over again. We know that dev kits are out. At least first-party studios have dev kits, if not, a couple of the bigger third-party studios. And never in history of PlayStation have dev kits gone out more than like 9 months before the thing releases. So anyone speculating that it's going to be like, I don't even think it's going to be late 2022. I think we're talking mid 2022 at the latest.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah. Dave, got a final thought on this before we move on? Oh, you're muted.
You're muted.
This happens a lot. No, I think we covered everything pretty well. Sorry, I have a bit of a tickle in my throat, so I've been coughing, so I muted myself.
All right, guys.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to end it then.
I think we covered everything pretty well.
Yeah. Again, I could talk about it for days, just nonstop. I could do a 3-hour episode, for old time's sake.
For old time's sake, let him run.
Just talking about PSVR 2 and how excited I am, and the possibilities are endless, man. Like damn near endless. Yeah. All right, so got some great news today, guys, and that is Synth Riders has given us an update. And, as we know, it was supposed to come out yesterday. It got delayed. Good news is we don't have to wait much longer for it. It is now launching on August 10th. It will be coming to us. And not only that, but they've given us the price of $25. And now will also include a 20% discount with PlayStation Plus. So Synth Riders, August 10th. With PlayStation Plus will only be $20, the sweet spot that I love so much.
And so do we have like a count of songs that come with that base package? Because I know there's a bunch of DLC stuff. Like if you want Offspring and all
50,
that.
Right?
Yeah, I want to say something? 54 if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now when you look back at Beat Saber, that launched with I think 15 games. I mean
15 songs.
Oh yeah, 15 songs, not 15 games.
Not games.
There's only one game in Beat Saber. It's called Beat Saber. 15 songs. Like, I mean, if you look at it that way, then you're definitely going to see a much better value in what Synth Riders has to offer.
Oh yeah, and it's got more variety, I think, too, in the songs, and
the music is so much better.
That people have wanted for a while.
It does have some Beat Saber-y sounding tracks on it, but for the most part, I have really enjoyed the variety more. Like I said, it's got some actual metal in it. It's got synthwave music, which I think is really which I love. Ever since like John Carpenter horror movies and stuff. And it's got just all sorts of stuff. And I explained before, the difference here that what a lot of people really love about this game, besides the multiplayer, which is still not coming at launch, but will be coming as a free update later, is that this game, the strengths I think are really in the music tracks, and I think if the gameplay looks like it doesn't seem very like intuitive, doesn't seem very like advanced or anything, it's more about like it makes you kind of dance and makes you do moves, and that's something that VR rhythm games kind of like are when they're at their best, is they make you move and stuff, and not we have like stuff like Dance Collider, but it wasn't really like the timing was a little off with hitting the things. I actually liked it, but I liked it at first, but I got really tired of it by it being like a rhythm game that wasn't on, like, didn't get the one thing it needed to get right, which was the gameplay completely. But yeah, what about you guys?
I was just playing 21st Century Digital Boy, and I was like, yep, this is fucking exactly what I want. Yeah,
yeah.
So I'm loving it. You guys know I never played this game before on Quest, and so this is an all new experience for me. And I will tell you that who just said it in the chat? Somebody said that don't let the it's the triangulator. Don't be fooled by the pancake video of Synth Riders. It's great in the headset. Yeah, man. It's you definitely had to throw a headset on and really feel what it's like to move in this game. It's one of those where at first you're just like, okay, do this, then do this. Skip right to expert, guys. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. Skip right to expert.
Oh, I don't know. Expert's pretty hard.
Especially if you play Beat Saber, you'll instantly be able to jump into expert. But
it's where things get fun. It's like where you have to like really start moving your body a lot, and
it goes from being like a do this to like do this. Do this. Oh wow, I got a whoa. Okay, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I love it when
those loops.
You have to put your hands together, like for the yellow ones, and whatever sound effect happens, like it's kind of like just it kind of overcomes you, and not like you're really into it. I don't know, man. It's like
it's exciting.
Yeah. So it's exciting. I'm very happy that they've finally got a release date and a price, and we can all start looking forward to something positive. Delays always kind of like leave a bad taste in your mouth, and you're like, man, I hope they got everything fucking straightened out. And from the sounds of it, they've got everything straightened out.
Yeah, we've also got keys for Neon Hat, which drops tomorrow. But we can't say anything about it just yet. We haven't actually played it yet because it's not playable right now.
I'm doing a 5 a.m. live stream, guys. So
5 a.m.
Don't go to sleep or take a nap, and I'll see you in the morning.
I'll be doing one more around 10 or 12, like a normal person. Or get the USA people that like to sleep in. I got you, Brian. Brian's got the UK and the early birds. I'll
get the late birds because I got to work all day. So then I'll.
There we go. We got you covered with your neon. We got your neon hat coverage all day tomorrow.
I'm a sucker for British accents. All the British guys and girls come to me. It's like, that was a slip. Like, I didn't mean to say that. Everybody British, come hang out, man. Like, I need a lot of British accents in the chat. That was a weird thing to say, but also true. All right, guys, let's move on to the topic we just skipped. The reason I had the wrong trailer running.
Oh, you want to talk about the Dreams thing?
I mean, it's to run a show.
Yeah, we went over the time. All right, so there was a new trailer for Ancient Dangers of Bat's Tale, and this is a Media Molecule original Dreams creation. Right. Go alone or with a friend, coming 2021, is what it says. But I'm guessing this is here because this has been confirmed to be VR compatible.
No, this is in here because it says go alone or with a friend.
Multiplayer, baby.
Right? And so my question was, is this the multiplayer? Is this like the tease for the multiplayer? Like they're like, hey, because Media Molecule doesn't do a lot of their own Dreams creations, right? That's like one of the critiques of Dreams. And so like, but they did their own VR Dreams creation to usher in the VR patch. Are they ushering in, or is this like just local co-op? So this is.
I mean, maybe local co-op.
That's
but
the thing. They already have local co-op.
They already have local co-op.
Yeah, local co-op's already in the thing.
Not a news story. Fuck this. Moving on.
Yeah, then this has to be. It has to be multiplayer. I mean,
damn it. I was really excited. I was like, this has to be. There has to be a reason for them to be, putting all this time into a new Dreams creation. Maybe it's ushering in the online multiplayer patch, but it also could be that. I mean, there's no.
It does look good though, but yeah, it's probably no, man. It's local multiplayer.
Motherfucker. Okay.
And just to let you know, you can already create local multiplayer games within Dreams. Just in case you didn't know that.
Listen, man, my horror game is single player only. Multiplayer.
Let me just say,
yeah.
Let me salvage this horrible mistake by saying that Dreams is amazing, man, and everybody should have it, especially if you're on a Pro or a PS5. And you should definitely check it out when it goes on sale for like $10. It is, trust me, one day it's going to get the attention it deserves, which is even more attention. And it's going to take off even more on PS5 when it gets an actual PS5 patch, an actual PSVR2 update, which I firmly believe it will happen. Yeah, man, I've been really inspired to, feeling really inspired to go back into Dreams and start creating again. I miss it so much because that's the one thing. I don't know if it was mentioned in your review. It was a great review, but I just don't remember. But it actually becomes like a fun game in itself to create games, and that's what makes it. That's why you have people like Wargarble that are like hopelessly addicted to it and stuff. But I will say, by the way, Wargarble's level 3 dropped in Whiplash VR, and it's super cool. You got to go check it out. So
he's been working so much on that thing, dude. It's wild,
and
I love seeing all his updates. Follow him on Twitter, guys, if you're into his stuff, because he's always posting. I mean, he might post some political stuff too, but no, like it's mostly about updates to his Dreams game, and he's always posting something.
Yeah. But
I'm gonna hold firm. I'm gonna hold firm that this is a Trojan horse. That this is actually that this game is actually going to usher in the multiplayer patch. I'm gonna hold firm.
It easily could. I mean, why make a whole trailer for the thing if you're not going to introduce something like this? Is the first one they've released that's an official media molecule thing since the original launch, right?
Yeah.
Well,
if you count I guess if you count like Dreamscom or something, that's a thing that they put together. But which is going on now, by the way, isn't it?
The good thing about this, the good sign from this is that Media Molecule original creations. That's the one thing I said that I think they missed the mark on when they first did all this. Is they left so much. They had Artstream and they had a couple tutorials. They had tons of tutorials and stuff. But I really feel like somewhere that people were left wanting more was like the original content. I always felt like Rec Room did so well because it had both multiplayer and it had the multiplayer quests that were built by Against Gravity over at Rec Room, and those did a fantastic job to keep people engaged without having to be creators, you know.
Real quick, Justin Cassidy in the chat says, does the physical version of Dreams include the VR for no extra cash? Yeah, man, it's just a patch. So you put that disc in, it's going to download all the patches, including the VR patch. So don't you worry about that. And I think you can answer this question, AJ. Peter in the chat says, how long does it take to create a game in Dreams? Let's just say how long did it take to create Dream Borders?
Your God. I mean, it took me like maybe 2 weeks, I think, like a week. I learned all the things and stuff, learned all the tools first, figured out what all the tools were, did all the tutorials. Just go start do that, and then online on YouTube, there's tons of tutorials for little tips and tricks, shortcuts, all sorts of things for different things that you try to do. There's tons of helpful people in the Dreamiverse, and but to be honest with you, like for instance, my Christmas level, after I had figured out how to do it, the Christmas level that I made for Dream Borders, that took me like 2 days to make that entire level. So that was like really nothing. Once you get it down, it gets easier and easier and easier to do more. So
it seems like the majority of the time built into making your first game is just tutorials and figuring it out. Like you would say probably at least 10 hours of tutorials you went through to figure out what you were doing, maybe-ish.
I'm honestly, unfortunately, that is not one of my abilities, is to pay attention to
time.
the amount of time I'm spending on stuff.
But I've heard that it takes a long time to get through all that stuff if you really want to get good at what you're doing. And I think that that's the upfront investment cost of making a game there, where it's like, once you know what you're doing, you can cook one up pretty quick, but you have to get over that hurdle of actually figuring out how it all works.
Yeah,
which is not it's not insurmountable, but it's not simple either, you know.
One of the cool things that War Gobbler brought up in the Dreams review was that you can, while you're creating, you can have the tutorials up in a window, like in, just on the screen. So like if you're like, I need to figure out how to do this, and you bring up the tutorial, it can be on screen as you're doing it, like working alongside of it. So it's like, even if you don't get everything in the first pass, which I'm sure you won't, there's a lot of stuff to take in, you can keep using the tutorials as you go. And to answer Peter's question, it's really like, how big of a game do you want to make, right? Like you can spend months and months and months making one single game. Some of these games can be as long as you want them to be, as big as you want them to be. It's just how much time you're willing to put into it. And I think that's the greatest thing about Dreams, is that it's 100% malleable to whatever it is that you want to do. It's pretty crazy. All right, guys, we got to move on though. We're going to talk about a quick thing that happened yesterday, which was the Exorcist Legion VR got a patch. It's supposed to be a major patch, and I played it today on stream. If you guys didn't catch the stream, let me give you a quick rundown of how that all went down. And
it was minor, wasn't it? Not so major.
It was. We are all frozen on the screen except for AJ.
Oh, cool. AJ, tell everyone how the patch was.
Here's the deal. I know we're frozen and stuff, but I'll fix it as we go. They called it a major update, and it was not a major update. Like, I mean, if you didn't tell me that there was an update, I wouldn't have known. There were subtle things that were added for the demons that were like just really added to the experience. Be like, oh, that's cool. I didn't see that last time. So it's a fine update, but it doesn't change anything as far as the controls go. It doesn't seem to change anything. Like it says, it's a texture patch, and it's not. Like, I mean, I didn't see any difference. So maybe if you're on the OG, there could be a difference there, but honestly, I have no idea. So
yeah, the only thing I noticed from the stream was one of the demons had like some extra pair of hands or something. Yeah, it's like the only real difference I noticed. But
he had an extra pair of hands. There was one where like I actually saw the demon that slammed the door shut. So I don't know. Anyway, the point is, it's a very minor update that they made sound like a very major update. So that's pretty much the end of that, and we can move on.
Yeah,
still a fun.
All right.
Though.
Well, some exciting news, guys. This stuff actually, big shout out to Hibsy, our local news scooper in most time. But now we had Just in Time BS who posted in our Discord. And they have shared that popping up online left and right in some various retailers is the physical version of Arashi, Castles of Sin. Which I am so excited to play. And we got a first look at some of the box art and some of the stuff as well. The info tied to this is that the physical retail edition, Brian, I don't know if you have a picture of the thing, but I'll post one here just in case you can throw it up there. But there was I think it was like different PlayAsia and a couple different places. They showed the box art and the retail edition that it comes with the digital art book and digital soundtrack as well. And some interesting info tied to this, though, is that the price was around $30, and then the release date for the physical version was September 3rd. Now, we don't have an official release date for Arashi, but it is slated to come this summer. But yeah, what do you think, guys? Is that sounding pretty good to you? Maybe somewhere September 3rd-ish.
I'm very
and
upset.
$30.
About the whole thing. Super upset. Look how cool the artwork is on the digital soundtrack in digital art book. There should be a deluxe edition where there's a physical version that comes with all this stuff. I'd pay like, $45, $50 for. Let's say $50. Like, give me a nice fat art book, man. Like, let's say $50. like that stuff looks so cool that I'm really upset that like I can't get my hands on it. That's just digital. I don't care about digital anything really.
I don't think I've ever looked at a digital art book or listened to a digital soundtrack that I got as a bonus or something. I actually don't even know how you do. I play. Can I play the soundtrack while I'm just like what? I don't know how it works. I don't get it.
You actually have to download it to your play. As far as I know, you have download to your PlayStation. You can't play it on the PlayStation itself. It always comes up with an error, and then you have to like put a USB drive in, and then like take it to wherever you want it from there.
What?
It's always been really, really ridiculous. Why can't I just play it on my PlayStation 5, man? I mean, it's so silly. Yeah. But I mean, it sounds like
that is great cover art, though. That is really nice cover art.
Looks so good.
I love to look at that.
It sounds like a good price for what sounds like a very good game. You know, we're all very, very interested in getting our hands on the game, but until we play it, I'm like, I don't actually know if that's a good price or not.
Yeah,
I wonder also. I mean, usually this is it's always Perp releasing this stuff. It's got the PEGI rating and stuff. If you want it in America, I assume you got to order it from Europe, or just we don't get the art book and soundtrack. Like, is it just with the physical version? Maybe Endeavor can tell us in the chat here. Like, if someone can't get the physical from Europe or whatever, like, you just not get the stuff.
You can. This wasn't Purple accommodate you. They always have. Yeah.
But did you have to like email them specifically and like ask and stuff? And
that's the way it works. If you're in the U.S. and you want to order something from Perp, like you can't just like click a button on the store and buy it. At least that's not how it was the last time I did. Like it says, oh, if you're looking to order something, email this address, and then you say, hey, I want to buy this and this and this, and then they say, okay, here's your invoice, and that's how it works. So it's a little bit of a mom and pop situation.
It's like mail order. It's like mail order, basically. Yeah.
There's like 3 people working at Perp, as far as I know. So we got to give them a little bit of a break. They're doing God's work.
I am just jealous of people who can walk into a game store in the UK and just pick one of these up off the shelf. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, well, I hope we get more information on this game soon. This is one of my most anticipated of the summer. I think this and Fract have been, as well as like maybe Song in the Smoke of the summer, have been some of my most anticipated. So really can't wait to hear more on this game. I feel like it's going a little bit under the radar right now. Like that's why I'm especially happy to talk about it, because I don't feel like it's getting the attention that it deserves. And I just hope that people are aware of this game existing, especially with such a cool concept like this that is is very relatable. We've had tons of games that have been set in feudal Japan and stuff. We grew up with games like Tenchu, and it's evolved into games like Ghost of Tsushima. Now we've got Arashi coming to VR. It's like one of our first true ninja games that's coming to VR that we've been wanting to. We already know that it controls like Saints and Sinners kind of, you've got Haru. You've got Haru, a pet dog companion in VR.
A wolf, AJ, goddammit.
A wolf. Sorry.
Tornado's looking at me. Why are you growling, Brian? It's like, sorry. It's all good. Everything's good.
You get a wolf companion, which is something that hasn't been done yet, I don't think. Not that I could think of, besides my Chansey that dies in Skyrim all the time. Chansey, the undead companion in Skyrim. It's great, man. There's so many things I'm excited about this. I really can't wait to see more. I am definitely hyped for Arashi, guys.
I think Dave has something to say.
One minor question here, guys. So this is a leak of the release date for the Perp physical edition, right? Yeah. September 3rd. It's rare that Perp games release physically the day and date of the digital version. Yeah. So does this mean that perhaps we could look forward to an even earlier digital release date?
Perhaps,
World, because I mean,
it's like
I'd like this game as soon as possible. If it comes in August instead of September, that's fine by me. And then if people wait an extra couple weeks for the physical,
Perp never releases the game before.
They tried to sometimes.
Golem did. Golem actually, I think, physical before digital.
They didn't even know. Yeah, they didn't even know. Golem was such a shit show with the release.
The launch was a mess. Yeah.
The developers didn't even know that, but this is this game comes from a team made up of like Bungie devs, which my superstition that I've said 100 times is that anything Bungie devs touch in VR has been gold so far. Looking at you, Moss, so I'm just so many reasons for me to be excited about this one personally.
Okay, guys. Endeavor One just said something very foreboding, but also exciting. They said a storm is coming, Dave, which means maybe I'm on to something.
Yeah.
Maybe this is coming sooner than we think it is.
Maybe we'll have to see, man.
Stuff.
Yeah,
we'll have to see.
There is, with a few things getting delayed, Synth Riders kind of got delayed a little bit, and then we had After the Fall get delayed a little bit. So, or who knows how long. So I feel like summer is opening back up a little bit. So we now have a little bit more room to breathe. So it's definitely time to get swamped again. So fucking bring it on, Arashi. Let's do that.
Bring it on, man. Bring it on. Yeah, I'm just want this. So, anyways, guys, stay tuned for more on that. We'll be keeping our eye on it and stocking Endeavor One.
It sounds like they're stalking me because it's now that I think about it, they're saying thunder from a clear sky as storm's coming, and that's actually, if I look at the radar right now, like outside my house, I think they're right outside looking in or something.
They could be. There's gonna be one of them just like. All right, guys. So yesterday we got a PlayStation VR exclusive game that we had actually been anticipating, and that is Wins and Leaves by Trebuchet. And it finally came out. We got to play it. I think we did have early access to it, so we got to check it out first. This is kind of an interesting one, man, because we're going to go ahead and do a quick review breakdown of this game and tell you what's great about it, and also tell you why maybe you should hold off from playing it just yet.
Yeah, I mean, I found this to be, at first a lot of people in the comments of the video were like, oh, so this is a brighter, shinier, happier Separation. And I'm like, Separation scratched a very specific itch for me. Like it felt emotional. It felt very intrinsically tied to like my entire story as a human being. And I just like loved getting lost and exploring and doing that. And this, there's a pressure when you get lost, because when you're trying to figure out where to go, like you end up dying a lot because you're not allowed to walk anywhere where there's no vegetation. You have a health meter that rapidly decreases as you kind of like move around this landscape. So you don't have that kind of like relaxing freedom. There's a little bit of tension that comes with this game. And so I don't really even put this in Separation quite in the same category. But once you get going, there is like this pretty cool gameplay loop that like just is satisfying. I don't think I was ever like, this is amazing. But as I completed different sections of the game, I was like, I felt this level of satisfaction, which wasn't what I got from Separation at all. Separation was like an emotional journey. This was just like, I'm going to check some boxes and feel satisfied.
So for me, let me just say that I was not sure what to think about this game going in. I was very cautious going into it. The developers had reached out to me and they said, hey, check it out. We're really confident that you're going to like this game. And I was like, okay, like, all right, if you say so. And to my surprise, I actually really was impressed with a lot of the mechanics this game does, starting with just like the locomotion itself. Now, Brian, I watched your review. I thought it was a great review. But there's something that you said in there that I actually really disagree with, and that is the movement scheme. Mm-hmm. You mentioned this in the review and on the interview, which was also a great interview. Make sure you go check it out. And that is, you didn't seem like you were a fan of the locomotion, the way it handles. I have to totally disagree. I really felt like the way they do the arms, not only is it active, but it's like not strenuous. Like it's easy to do, it's smooth to use, easy to use, and that is what a lot of this game kind of does. Is it creates like kind of an ease of use, but does sacrifice some specific details in that regard.
I am 100% with Brian on this one. I think that there are some definite issues with the movement system that kind of took me out of it. Like when you're climbing a tree, there's really no way to know before you pull your hand up how far you're going to go up the tree. Right. And like they actually waited till a decent portion through the game to tell me how to adjust the height of the stilts. And so I kept being too tall to pick up stuff before they had told me how to get shorter to pick up the seeds on the ground. And I was
you can pick stuff up from being the full.
I tried it, AJ. I sat there and I tried it. Yeah, it's not as easy as you think. It's a lot easier once you. Yeah. So the other thing is that I think that there's something about this, the way that everything's set up in your peripheral, where that's how your tools are. It's very easy to accidentally stash one in a spot that you didn't mean to, and then you go to grab it, and it's like, oh, that's the time machine thing. Oh shit, where's my little planter guy? Okay, he's over here.
Yeah.
It's not like super intuitive, like how to place things, and they kind of block your view a lot of the time. And I think the locomotion in general just adds a lot of like this
Yeah.
to a game that seems super chill and relaxing. Like if you look at the game, you're like, oh, that's a nice, relaxed little thing. But as Brian said, between the movement scheme and the fact that you can die if you get away from the trees, it's not as like stress-free as it seems, really. And you do spend a lot of time just waving your arms around. It's a lot more active than you'd think it would be.
Yeah,
you know?
I actually liked that though, that it was more active, and to me it felt like, I mean, the only thing you could do more is to actually be letting go of the moves and re-grabbing them and like moving them.
Yeah, I
but
guess I'm just of the mindset where like if I'm gonna play a game that looks on the surface like Journey or Flower or something like that, something nice and relaxing, I don't want to be doing this the whole fucking, like that's the
well,
not the kind of experience that you get out of it.
Well,
It's a little more
they do
stressful
mix
than
in-
it seems like it would be.
to me, they do mix in powers and abilities though that change up the locomotion. I mean, we don't have to go into this forever, but
Yeah, well, yeah.
but you know, there are abilities that you unlock that change the type of locomotion. There is like the climbing as well, that's a little bit different. But I was actually really surprised with the VR mechanics. This game, the way that it surprised me the most was that it like you look at this game and you seem like it's going to be simple. You seem like maybe you can see how everything could go wrong. And I was really impressed how they took such a simple, what seems like a boring ass concept, and actually had some like good VR implementation into it. You're interacting with all those things. You know, you said you were having trouble with that stuff. I didn't have any trouble with that because it lets you calibrate and it gives you this box that you can actually place those things wherever you're most comfortable having those. And I thought that was a genius idea. It's like
It was decent.
to
It just
customize your tool belt.
I just
wherever
kept
you want to reach
accidentally
it.
placing them back in a different spot, and it would switch. And it was like I didn't know that
switched.
he wouldn't do that. Like,
Yeah, I
know.
never once
Wait,
accidentally
could-
swapped my.
I didn't think you could
Yeah.
do that. When I
Yeah,
was done
no.
with my shovel, I would just be like, I just throw it and it would automatically like.
well, okay,
Yeah,
so there was
yeah.
definitely
you
so I
can
played
swap
right
them if you
before-
want to.
I had played right before the show, and I was at a certain point I was planting stuff, and then I used my time machine, planting stuff, used my time machine, you know, the whole loop, whatever. And then I went over to grab my time machine, and it was my planter, and I was like, oh, I wasn't. Oh, where's my time machine? It was like down here.
This is so odd.
I don't know.
Crazy.
Yeah, maybe it's a fluke. Maybe I just accidentally did something. But
Maybe, but
But-
we do have Damash, Smash. Take me twice every single time I say your name, Damash. $5 tip says, loving Winds and Leaves. Thanks for covering it.
nice.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
I liked your score of it, 7.8. I think I was a little bit harsher saying 7.5 because for me, no matter how much I enjoy a game, when I see something wrong, I try to like ding that and subtract points. Like to me, it's all like a collective like this subtracts points, this subtracts points, this can regain points,
Like a
and some of them,
gymnast's routine, like you're judging a gymnast in the Olympics or
Right.
something.
Right, so
Right,
so we
I
did
have
the
used
games
Olympic
differently,
Olympic
even though we
rating
gave it
scale.
almost the exact same score. All right, your process sounds fucking irritating, man. It's like we got to the same results, and I did shit. This is great.
Well, so I do want to throw out there though, like it sounds a little bit like, and if you saw my stream last night and what I've said tonight, it might sound like I don't like this game, and that's actually not true. And I think Brian and AJ had the same experience where like the first hour is like a little bit not that exciting. You're just kind of being led through a long tutorial,
And there's
and
a
it's
lot of
not
stuff to learn too. Yeah.
There's
yeah,
a
and it's
learning-
not
there's
that
a learning curve,
straightforward. And I, maybe I was just stupid, but there was stuff that I missed the prompt for. I just didn't know what to do. Like even today when I was playing, going back to it again, there's a part where they tell you to use the planter to put the seed in, and then they don't tell you, oh, then you also got to do this next thing and wait, and this will happen, and then you'll get another seed and all this. And so I was just like, oh, I planted the thing. What do I do? What do you want? And so there's little moments like that where if you're dumb like me, you might not know what to do and get stuck and get frustrated. And I did get frustrated. But once you get the loop and the mechanics and you figure out what you're doing and get out of that initial area and start exploring,
Yeah.
it's actually kind of cool. It's got that like, I see why people mention separation, because there is this like quiet sense of mystery to it, where you're just like going around and you're like, what are these structures here for? I don't know who built these things. And there's all these cave painting style drawings on rocks everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how a lot of the story and stuff is conveyed, really, through that. And I always like that like atmosphere. I just think that in a way the mechanics kind of make me less like that's a kind of chill, relaxing, mysterious thing. And when I've got to waste my time going climbing, planting a thing, doing this, whatever, to see the next area, that loop sometimes becomes a little bit like, I just want to explore, man. I want to just like go out and see that instead of having to do this. But overall, that's not really a huge complaint. Like, I would put it in the 7s as well, I think, with you guys. I don't know exactly where. You played a little more than I did.
I've beaten it 2.5 times.
2.5 times?
Yes.
Well, then it can't be that long. Then. Well, how long is it then overall?
No, it is long. I've just spent a lot of time playing it.
Okay.
I've beaten it twice, actually. I beat it for the second time last night. But let me tell you, we're a little short on time here, so I got to make this brief. But, I love certain things about it. It does have some rough edges, though. I will definitely say something like how it looks really nice, but then it also has like a little bit of blur to it at times. And that was something they mentioned as one of the hardware limitations of the PS4. They said they ran into tons of trouble trying to develop a game on like almost 10-year-old hardware, and that's like, that was one of the reasons I was like saying earlier that regarding the PSVR2 discussion, it's like this is just another example of one of those reasons why in the back of my mind I am ready for this next PSVR2, because I'm tired of in 2021 having games and developers being held back by the PS4 hardware, not necessarily the headset, because we know the headset can go 1080, but the PS4 base PS4 itself. But before I get too high up on this game, there are a couple warnings I want to give people. Despite me I think the game is good. It's solid, 7.5, like I said. But I actually really, really, really liked it. However, I'm gonna have to say, when it comes to purchasing it, wait for the patches, because the patches are really important for especially towards the end of the game, when more special effects and more stuff start happening. The game has some stability issues, and I also thought that there was a couple trophies I was missing, and I thought maybe I just didn't do them right or something. They're actually broken. So in regards to the thing, the good news is that they have patches planned very, very soon. They have patches planned for the end of this week and stuff. But so I cannot recommend enough to make sure I would say just probably wait, unless you think it's going to take you a while to get to the end of the game. It is a long game. Probably took me about 7 to 10 hours to beat, I think.
Oh, wow. And you beat
the
it
first
2.5 times already?
Well, second time probably took me more like 4 or 5 hours, but that's like knowing everything to do, and it was still challenging. It's got some challenges towards the end, but yeah, as much as I love the game, I gotta say, wait for some patches.
I will say about the art style and like the low resolution sometimes. I actually didn't mind that so much, especially once you start using the time thing.
Yes,
because it just looks it's kind of gorgeous. Like when you're just sitting there watching the time go by and the wind blow and the leaves and the trees growing in front of you, like. We didn't really talk about that particular thing yet, but that particular thing is like a huge reason why the game works, because it's just like, if I had to sit around and wait for a tree to grow in a less gorgeous way, I don't think I'd want to play this. But it's pretty nice when you're doing that mechanic. It just feels good, looks good. It's well implemented. I have to call this comment out because it made me laugh like crazy. Snacks, please. Says, looks like 90s postmenopausal mom art style. Can you leap across a pastel canyon? Kind of. He said LOL not hating. So, but I think he's pretty much on the mark. It is very pastel-y, like, yeah, but you get into it once you start playing, and there is variation in the areas and stuff with the color schemes and the different trees and all that.
Yeah. It grows on you. At first, I got into the game because one of the things we said leading up to launch was, I bet this is going to look great in the headset. Then I put the headset on and I was like,
Looks
well,
alright.
I've been wrong before. I'm wrong again. Like, it's not special. But then but the more you get into the game, using the speeding time up, seeing the lights in the sky, all that shit. It's like everything sort of comes together, and you're like, this is actually really pretty, despite some of its limitations.
Well, yeah, and you never get that thing with a lot of games like this where it seems like the sky or the background in the far distance is just like a wrapped around JPEG or something.
Right.
Like it always feels like you can see out onto the horizon whatever is there, and it's not like faked. And like the pop in for trees isn't great sometimes, but
the pop in is worse at the beginning though. It is worse. The pop in and the overall like blurriness and stuff is the worst at the beginning. So it might not make the best first impression, but actually it ends up being a pretty beautiful game towards the end.
Yeah. We could probably talk about this all day too, but we do need to move on. We mentioned the crashes. There was a moment when we first got keys for this game when we played, and there was absolutely no problem whatsoever. And then they issued a patch, and it started crashing all the time. They issued another patch, it started crashing less. So it's like they're right there on the precipice of like fixing this game to make it like 100% a game we could recommend if you're into this sort of thing. So like AJ said, just hold off a little bit if you're interested.
I actually have confidence, even if this isn't maybe your type of game. I have confidence in recommending this game once it gets fully patched and fixed. But no matter how good a game is, no matter how great I love it, if a game crashes, there's no way I'm going to ever tell you that I can recommend a game. I don't care how good it is, how much it means to me. I feel like I'm obligated to tell you guys when it, give you the thumbs up on a game or thumbs down. And for right now, I have to give this a thumbs down in terms of buying it, unless you don't mind working through some of the issues. But I can't recommend enough to just wait and get the best experience, the experience that the developers themselves would want you to have. But I take that pretty serious. So I felt really bad, guys, about being like, oh yeah, this is fine, and I was having my stream, and I'm like, no issues on my stream, and then I play off stream, and I'm like running into like all these crashes and stuff, and I'm like, man, like I gotta tell everybody, because like I said, that's why we're here, man. Is to we don't no matter how good our relationship with developers is, if a game has a problem, we got to tell you about it. We work for you guys first and foremost.
Imzadi just did a got him on you because she says, yet No Man's Sky crashes all the time.
Bam! All right, time to move on. Yeah, no, that's
get me.
we obviously all take this shit very seriously. Like the fact is like there's just no way. Like the second, if we were ever to lie to you or try to tell you that something's not that big of a deal, one person buys the game and suddenly it's like our reputation's fucking over because you guys out there. The fact is, like anything we say, it's not like you can't fact check us, right? It's like if we're not honest, right away. And so and I love that, man. And I love saying, hey, here are all my opinions about something, and then immediately getting to hear back from you guys saying, well, here's our opinion about it. And I love that it's like a constant two-way conversation. Really good stuff.
I can't wait to hear the opinions you guys have on the games you haven't played.
There's also that, yeah.
I feel like I kind of had the flip situation of you, AJ, where on my stream I was really frustrated and was having problems, and then off stream I enjoyed it way more, and I felt like I had to come back and say, hey, actually I was wrong. This is more fun than I thought it was. That was my fault. And honestly, I made that stream private. If you saw it, you saw it, but it's not there anymore. So like, I didn't want to make the game look bad because I was not figuring it out properly,
All right, guys. I think we got to move on to the last segment of the show, which, of course, PSVR 20 questions. So I just talked.
You'll never get this one. You're never gonna get this one.
It did. It's awesome. Never gonna get it. To give you guys a heads up, after the stream is over, I'm going to be adding a link in the description to Timertopia, who is allowing us to use their 6-minute very cool clock during the stream. I'm very excited for this thing. I'm so excited.
Did they have a Dinotopia clock?
I don't
you should ask for a Dinotopia clock. Oh, come on.
But yeah, so let's get ready, guys. So Dave's the host, and so AJ and I are going to be asking 20 yes or no questions to try to figure out what PlayStation VR game Dave's thinking of. Everybody anybody in the chat, please help us out. Give us your suggestions. Give us questions that you think we should be asking. And definitely, if you think you know the answer, let us know, because we're bad at this.
Yeah, what is it, Scott Jestico, who guessed it before I even had a chance to start yesterday?
Scott Jestico's from the future, man. I don't know if you're aware.
Yeah.
He knows what's going on, dude.
All right. Are you guys
I
ready?
also send him all the answers before. I send him all the answers ahead of time. So.
Oh, okay.
Well, okay, well, then we understand now. All right, here we go. And go.
Is it a rhythm game?
Nope.
Okay, is it a horror game?
Nope.
That's 2. You keeping count?
Yes, I'm keeping count.
Not a rhythm, not a horror. Is it a... does it have aliens in it?
Nope.
No aliens. Did this developer make other PlayStation VR games?
Pause the timer. I have to check.
I don't know how to pause the timer.
Oh,
that's
okay.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
This will take me a second.
Oh, that is a great looking clock.
Right?
Okay, so okay, I got to tell you, technically they did.
Okay, technically.
Well, hold on, give me 1 second. Let me double check.
Oh.
On it.
All right, don't worry. I'll just keep track that we have like 30 seconds after the timer's actually up.
This will be like soccer where we just add the time on it.
I got to learn how to control this thing in OBS. There's got to be a way. Streamlabs. It's fucked up.
Is it, in your opinion, a good game?
Yes, I would say it's a good game, but give me 1 sec because I'm still making sure about the last one. Okay, so yes, they have made another. Yes, they have made another game.
Okay. Is this a puzzle game?
Hold on, real quick. AJ's, what was your question again? Is it good? Yes, it's good.
Okay.
Is it a puzzle game? Not specifically, but I guess there kind of are sort of puzzles in it. I wouldn't. We can skip that one.
Does it have full locomotion and smooth turning?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Are you looking it up?
I don't.
I
don't think so.
Do you? Are you? Are you stuck in one place the whole time? Can you move?
You do move.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can move.
To some degree, yeah. I need to. See. I can't pick ones that I'm not that currently like that I haven't played for a while.
Right.
Is it? Does it take place in? Does it have anything to do with plants? Does it have plants in it?
No, it has nothing to do with plants.
Okay. Oh God. Okay, I knew where that was going. Is there? I like Creeper Betty. I like Creeper Betty anyway. But I like her question. Does it have multiplayer?
No, it does not.
No multiplayer.
Okay. So I got to tell you, I don't believe
we're losing so much precious time here.
That's fine.
Dave's cheesing.
I love our new.
Cheating.
I love our new timer, but it's irrelevant during this one.
Yeah. Well, it's always been irrelevant.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that there is full locomotion in this game.
You wouldn't say full locomotion. Okay.
No.
Is it a shooter?
No.
Does it only use the DualShock 4?
Nope.
Is it on the top 25 list ever? Has it ever been on the top 25 list?
I would have to dig deep to find out if it ever has been. There's a chance like years ago, and this is a hint maybe, there's a chance years ago it was, but not in the past ones that we've been doing together. I don't think so. Like there might be a without Parole top 20 that has it on there, but not us together.
Okay. What
that was 12. I'm sorry, that was 12. So 13 is next. Yeah.
Is this an experience?
Not really. I mean, some people would dispute that and say, "Oh, it's not long enough to be a real game." But I think there's some game to it. I wouldn't call it just an experience.
Does this have a cartoony art style?
No, but God, I could give you a huge hint here. Okay. No, it doesn't have a cartoony art style.
Did you say it was a puzzle game or not?
Not a puzzle game.
There is just a little bit of puzzly stuff in it, but it's not technically a puzzle game, I would say.
Is it comedic? Is it a comedy game?
No, it's not funny.
Okay.
Is it based on a license?
Yes, it is based on the license.
Ooh, nice.
Well, Justin Cassidy just said Batman VR in the chat, and so
Didn't we already have Batman VR before?
we can. I mean, there's no rules that say we can't repeat. Let's see if that.
Wait, did we ever do Batman VR? I don't remember us doing Batman VR.
It doesn't mean
Yeah,
we
we
can't
did.
repeat.
Oh wait, for real? I didn't know we had done it before. Well, you got it. It's bad. It's fucking bad.
That's
I
damn
thought I had you.
it.
I thought I had you.
You could have at least let us finish, man.
No, but I mean, I thought
That's funny, man.
we had never
That's
done
funny.
it before.
Good job,
we had
chat.
done that one before.
Who was that? Justin Cassidy.
Justin Cassidy.
Nice job.
Once
Right.
he figured it out, everybody toppled down. But I didn't say anything specific enough other than the license. When you asked if it's cartoony, I was like, well, it's based on a comic book, but it's not cartoony, so I don't know how to answer this.
Yeah, no.
But yeah,
that was was the right answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. You know what? I've actually never watched this entire timer. I have no idea what happens when it hits 0. I've just turned the sound up. I don't know if it's going to
You
blow
wanna-
or what the deal is.
Oh, let's see.
You
How
wanna
much
hang
time
out?
is left?
Let's hang
Yes,
out for a minute then.
let's say goodbye to everybody, man. While I'm doing this, hopefully I can get it all done in the last 30 seconds. Here we go. I wanted to give a shout out to everybody who makes this channel run smoothly. Of course, Dave and AJ. If you don't already subscribe to their channels, please subscribe to Dave Station VR and PSVR Underground. Also, don't forget to join our Discord, and that's where Hibsy, the Game Cat, hangs out and gives us most of our news stories, to be honest with you. Jay Meow is taking care of our website and getting us up on Spotify. Also, all the mods who make everything run super duper smoothly, not just here. It's about to blow. But on Discord.
Brace for
Whoa!
impact.
That was some-
Brace for impact.
Shit's insane. That was
Did
great.
something happen?
Yeah, it blew
Wait, did
up.
something happen?
It totally
Oh my
blew.
God.
And there was a sound effect too. That's awesome. We also want to give a shout out to Miles Dyer, who runs our Instagram account, and Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry, who adds timestamps to this show hours after it goes live. Guys, I just want to let you know, I'll know that this is how Without Parole runs. There's no way that I could do this by myself. It's really a collection of a lot of people contributing, and we just fucking love each and every one of you. It's the only way this can be done right now. Oop, timer started over again. All right, on your market, set,
was
go.
epic.
Just kidding. So anyway, guys, just to say, besides thank you to all the people who help us out on a regular basis, thank you to everybody who tipped in the chat today, thank you to everybody who supports the channel financially on Patreon, thank you to everybody who hung out and watched the show and commented, helped us out with while we were talking during all the news stories. We love hearing your input on all that stuff, and of course, Justin Cassidy for helping us with 20 questions. That's it, guys. Join us over on Discord. Links in the description. I think it's time to cue the cat.
You're the cat, Brian, because I want to say see you guys on Friday. To Justin Cassidy, great job, man. Thank you so much for guessing that. Ben Dawson, thank you so much for joining. He says, you want to know his secret identity? Are you Ben Man? Flame Hat, Game Cat. Hello. Bob Zarkoff, the Underground Dave Station Game Cat Elite Name Squad. Elitist of the Elite Name Squad. Leader of the pack. Mr. Game Cat Canaveral. What's up, my dude? Creepy Betty, PSVR Betty. I was showing around the Game Cat Hub in Rec Room recently. Super cool room. Snacks, Impulse, Guy Sutton, spoke to you, Durant Fan VR. Good to see you, my dude. That was a pretty good explosion. I saw it after the fact. Caden and the Spider okay. Says cat bye.
Bye, cat.
Cat
Bye,
bye
cat.
to you.
Cat.
Bye.
Rody the Game Cat, trusty mod in the house. Be on your best behavior. You got cold yogurt with the $5 donation.
$5
God, I love
tip.
saying that. You have no idea how happy it makes me to say that again. Zach Attack. Good to see you, my friend. Gabriel 004, the license meow game cat. Meow meow. Meow meow. Meow meow. Kramer 3K always enters the chat saying hello world, which is the first thing I ever programmed on a computer. Probably everyone did too. Johnny Ripot, the Straight Cat. Jupiter Skies, thank you so much for joining. Who else we got here? LC2552 Beats, the musical game cat. Lay down the beat, LC. Drop a beat. ET.2K9.now.
ET.2K9.
Gracious
ET.2K9.
Dreams. Johnny No Pockets, aka the Who Dat Game Cat. Blue Jew, the Underground Game Cat. Meow, fun show. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Larry, choo, choo, choo. Imzadi, what are you apologizing for? I don't know, but I forgive you. Kevin,
He roasted you.
Check. Roasted.
Don't
Boom,
apologize.
roasted.
Roast them more.
PlayStation VR in the chat tonight. Hello, good sir. Decepticon. Aw, yeah. GG to you too, homie. What is that game that you really like that I hate, Decepticon? I forgot. But you're wrong. Miles Dyer. No questions. Guys, you guys have a wonderful rest of the week. Neon hat coverage tomorrow. And we will see you Friday. Let's go.
5 a.m., guys. 5 a.m. 5 a.m. Eastern.
5 a.m., buddy.
I'm gonna be up. Let's do this thing. Love you guys.